Coach Travis Hudson, a 1994 WKU business management graduate who worked 2 jobs during his undergraduate journey on the Hill. Coach Hudson demonstrates hard work and dedication to supporting youth around him to this day. In 1995, he became the nation's youngest head coach of the time at the age of 24 and began building a robust program known for its strong foundation that supports growth and success year after year. Coach Hudson and his championship caliber program have appeared in 12 NCAA tournaments and earned 10 Sun Belt Conference regular season championships and 5 conference tournament championships. And since joining Conference USA in 2014, under Coach Hudson, WKU volleyball has won 5 of 6 possible regular season and tournament championships. In 2018, WKU volleyball posted its 19th straight 20-win season, and in 2019, reached the 30-win mark for the 8th time in 10 seasons, earning the number 15 national seed. Being named AVCA South Region Coach of the Year 6 times, Conference Coach of the Year 8 times, we clearly have an extraordinary man and an extraordinary coach among us. Coach Hudson's dedication to student success, though, which is core to our university, is more than clear as well. He pushes players to succeed on the court and in the classroom, evident by his players achieving a 100% graduation rate and receiving many academic awards. But his care for his team extends well beyond the court and the classroom. 2 years ago, when a former player was battling leukemia, he made a personal commitment to pay the tuition for any WKU student who matched her bone marrow and went through the donation process. A remarkable example of a remarkable man. Now, please turn your attention to the video screen and meet our final 2020 Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductee, Coach Travis Hudson.
He is one of the winningest coaches in college athletics. In his 25 years coaching WKU women's volleyball, Travis Hudson has built an elite program through a culture of consistency, caring, and relationship building.
A great coach, I think, can learn to coach anything because the key to being a great coach is that connection. And it's about helping that person grow and making sure that person sees things in themselves that maybe they didn't see before they came into your life. And I've always believed that the success that we've had on the court is because of all the time we've spent together off it.
Travis grew up in Bee Spring, Kentucky, where he learned hard work from his father, kindness from his mother, and the impact of giving from his papa, maternal grandfather Merle Daniel. The youngest of the 3 Hudson boys, Travis admits he wasn't as athletically talented as his brothers at high school football and basketball, but what he lacked in athletic prowess, he made up for with sheer determination.
I felt like that's how I could separate myself from the people around me. It wasn't going to be natural athletic ability or anything like that, but it was just going to be when it got hard, that I was willing to grind and stick it out and work hard. And that's who I was as an athlete. And certainly I think that's carried over to coaching as well.
Travis planned to be the first in his family to earn a college degree and headed to Western Kentucky University to study business management and marketing. But fate intervened when he stumbled upon a rec league game of volleyball while on the Hill, a sport that he knew very little about.
As is the case with me, again, I'm a grinder. I just threw myself in there. And, that first time I went to a volleyball court, I threw myself in there with a couple guys that I'm still really good friends with today. And I met the volleyball coach at Western Kentucky at the time, Jeff Holzmeyer. And Jeff threw those leagues, and Jeff had no help, had no assistant, and I don't know what he saw, but he saw something that led him to ask if I would be interested in just coming into the gym. And so I started as a student on top of working my job and going to school. I started coming in and volunteering my time with the volleyball team.
Travis accepted the volunteer position in the early 90s, balancing his schoolwork with 2 part-time jobs to pay for school, and he soaked up all he could about the sport of volleyball and the art of coaching. He served as an assistant volleyball coach for 3 years and was interim head coach on 2 occasions. Travis graduated from WKU in 1994.
When he graduated, he got a job at a local company, and he may have went the first day and maybe the second day. And he called me that night and he said, "Man, this is just not what I want to do." And I said, "What do you really want to do?" He said, "I want to coach volleyball."
I worried a great deal as part of my journey as a person, I think, because I worried so much about trying to be what other people thought I should be, and learned that my true happiness and ultimately my ability to succeed would come from following things that I love. And I called my mom and told her I was going to make $19,000 a year coaching volleyball at Western Kentucky after getting my degree. It wasn't the most popular decision at the time, but certainly it's worked out pretty well.
In 1995, at the age of 24, Travis Hudson became the nation's youngest head coach at the time and began creating a championship program, including 12 NCAA tournament appearances, 10 Sun Belt Conference regular season championships, and 5 conference tournament championships. In 2018, Hudson earned his 600th win as head coach and was named AVCA South Region Coach of the Year for the 6th time and Conference Coach of the Year for the 8th time in 2019.
So someone took a leap of faith on Travis at Western Kentucky, and I think that's been something that is always on his mind, and I think it's one of the reasons he stayed at Western, because he's had a lot of opportunities to go to other colleges and he didn't do that. But he kind of told me one time that they took a leap of faith with him, and he was going to make them proud of who he was and what he's accomplished there. And he always said that I'd rather build a program at Western than inherit a program from somebody else.
You can go through a million reasons why X's and O's, but the single best thing that he has going for him is maybe the best human being that I've ever met.
Coach Hudson is especially proud of his team's continued 100% graduation rate, along with program charities Hope for Harley and the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, built around children with pediatric brain tumors. Travis and his wife Cindy live in Bowling Green. They have 2 sons, Andrew and Tyler, an incoming WKU freshman. Having survived a cancer scare, a widowmaker heart attack, and a well-publicized bus incident in 2010, when the bus driver suffered a heart attack as the team was headed for a game in Mobile, Alabama, Travis commandeered the bus to safety, averting a potentially fatal outcome. Coach Hudson is convinced he still has work to do.
Don't let him say that someone else helped him be what he is, because he did the work. But he did it, not me. I just watched and clapped.
The fact that he has been a constant in my life, regardless of where I am, regardless of if we talk every day or every other month, it is always a phone call away, and I hope he knows that I love him. And I need that guy in my life.
Just wanted to congratulate you.
Congrats, Travis.
Congratulations, Travis.
Congratulations, Travis.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
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 Congrats on being selected for the Hall of Distinguished Alumni.
2020 WKU Hall of Distinguished Alumni inductee Travis Hudson.
Wow. The first thing I have to overcome is the fact that I was told I need to try to keep this to around 5 minutes. If you know me, that's a challenge for me, but I'll do my best. I'm just so humbled and honored to receive this, alongside Dr. Jack Britt and Mr. John Asher. There's so many people to thank. That's where my heart goes immediately, is to all the people that helped me get to where I am and helped build me along the way. I certainly want to thank Ruth Osborne, who nominated me for the Hall of Distinguished Alumni, and for all the people who wrote letters of support
on my behalf, to Jenny Hensley and all the people here at WKU who made this event happen, Barb Deeb, Cheryl Buckley, the people at WKYU who do such a great job with the video presentations, to my dear friend Alex Downing and all the people at Franklin Bank and Trust. Thank you for continuing to support Western Kentucky in so many ways, including this event as well. I do have several people that were able to be here with me today. I just want to quickly recognize my mother and father-in-law, Frank and Jane Wiseman, my brother and sister-in-law, Tim and Shannon Wiseman, who were here as guests of Franklin Bank and Trust. You know, I want to thank my uncle, Tim and Debbie Daniel. Tim is the man that kind of gave me the nudge. You know, in life, sometimes you just need somebody to tell you that it's okay to take that chance and to give you the courage to do it. And as you saw in that video, he was that person that gave me the nudge I needed to do this. I have two brothers, my brother Brian, who wasn't able to be here with us today, and then my brother Todd Hudson, who is also a Hilltopper graduate, who is here with us as well. My parents, I'm so thankful that they were able to be here in these times especially. My father, Sonny Hudson, who is the man that I learned work ethic from. He's the hardest working man I've ever seen, and I hope that part of that has become who I am as well. And then my mother, Terry, as well, who I hope is another part of me. She's the kindest person I've ever been around. She's the most selfless person that I've ever seen, and I hope that there's part of that inside me as well. And then certainly my wife, Cindy. Cindy and I met here on the Hill. She's a Hilltopper graduate and has walked every step of this journey with me. You know, I think through her healing hands as a physical therapist, she has impacted more people in this community than I could ever have the opportunity to impact. She is certainly the superstar of the family, regardless of how many podiums I stand at otherwise. And then I simply can't go through a moment like this without saying something about my grandfather, Merle Daniel, who was a World War II veteran. He was my hero in my life. He's the man that he's the man that I watched every day. He's the man that, you know, a lot of people teach you things through their words. He's a man that I learned so much from just through watching how he interacted with people. And I know he's here today with us, and I know he's watching, and I know he's very, very proud that his grandson has had this moment that he had so much to do with. And finally, to my two boys, Tyler and Drew. Drew is a freshman at South Warren High School here in town, and Tyler is a freshman here on the Hill. You know, I hope it's moments like these that make them understand that if they work hard and they treat people the right way, that the sky's the limit on who they can be and what they can become in their life as well. And then the final people that I want to certainly show gratitude to are all the coaches and players that have played for me and been around me throughout my career. You're all a part of this story. Every single one of you is a part of the story of where I began and where I am now, and it's your shoulders that I stand on to receive this honor today. You know, when I think about my journey here on the Hill, you know, when I was young and first started getting involved in athletics, it wasn't anything more than the people. You know, to this day, 25 years later, I still talk about it's the people that make Western Kentucky great. And it's the people like Jim Richards and Lee Robertson and Coach Jimmy Fikes, and, you know, the list goes on and on and on of the people that have impacted me so greatly. I always admired how beloved this university was for them in every action that they took. And that was something that, you know, they say imitation is the finest form of flattery. And I have certainly tried to imitate those great men. You know, I received much as Dr. Britt talked about, I received a phone call from Lee Robertson. I received a phone call from Jim Richards. And those are some of my most cherished moments, you know, in all of this, because they were men that I hold in such high esteem. And to hear the joy in their voices that I will join them as Hall of Distinguished Alumni is something that really is a remarkable thing to me. You know, I work with 17 to 21-year-olds every year of my life, and it's something that I feel so fortunate to be able to do, because I say this to them in the recruiting process, and I'll say it now. It's such a unique time in your life when you're on this hill. You come here and you're a 17-year-old kid. You're a kid. You just were in mom and dad's house the week before, and you're just a kid. And 4 or 5 years later, you transform into someone who has to have a job and be able to take care of yourself and kind of figure out who you want to be in life. And it has been my life's pleasure to be in a role that I can have an impact on those kids during that time, and to have it walking on the same hill every single day that I walked 25 years ago is something that's really, really special to me. You know, the other people that come into my heart during this time is just, I hope I can be an inspiration to every student who ever walks on this campus for the first time. No matter what your background is, no matter where you come from, no matter how much money you have, no matter, you know, none of that matters. You know, again, you hear in my story, you know, I came here, I put myself through school, I became the first person in my family to get a college degree. I work jobs, I live on the other side of it now. I see college athletes who are blessed to have scholarships and all these kinds of things, but that's not who I was. I was the other student. I was the one who went to class and went to work and stayed up late and studied and just found a way to grind and get through it. And so I hope, you know, that I can be an inspiration to any student that walks on this hill and feels overwhelmed by it all. Okay, but understands that, you know, there's a quote that I love that says, life is simple, but it's not always easy. And if you just pour your heart into something and you work hard, you treat people with respect, you live a life of serving others, you have gratitude in your heart, then it doesn't matter where you come from or where you choose to be going, you're going to be impactful. And that's what I've always tried to be. You know, finally, you know, I've said this many times in interviews. I've always said, you know, I hear about the wins and the championships and all those kinds of things, but I've said this many times. At the end of my career, if I'm only known by wins and losses, that'll be a shame. That'll be a shame, because that's not the reason why I do what I do. And I got a message from my uncle, Tim, right after I was selected for this, and in that text message it said, and I really hadn't thought about it until he said it, but he said, you know, the cool thing about this, the one that makes it really special is this has nothing to do with wins and losses, this has to do with the kind of person you are. And when he said that, that was really, really impactful to me, because at the end of the day, you know, any player that's ever played for me, if they're walk out the door a little bit better person, if they're a little bit stronger, if they believe in themselves a little bit more than they would have otherwise, then I feel like I've served my purpose of why I was here. You know, and this wonderful place, this wonderful hill that we walk around here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, has given me the opportunity in so many ways to be just that. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm absolutely filled with gratitude to be the newest member of our Hall of Distinguished Alumni. Thank you.
Let's give another hand to our 3 newest members of the Hall of Distinguished Alumni. Dee, Dr. Britt, Coach, congratulations. Each one of you personify to me what it means when we say the spirit makes the master. John's legacy, Dr. Britt, through your career and your trajectory and everything you've done, and Coach, to the person that you are. Thank you for always representing WKU. Today's ceremony is the result of months of preparation from many partners. I'd be remiss if we didn't end today without thanking many of them who made this possible. Again, thank you to Franklin Bank and Trust for their continued partnership and sponsorship of the Hall of Distinguished Alumni. I'd also like to thank Cheryl Beckley, Barb Deeb, and the entire team at WKU PBS for their work on the exceptional videos that you've seen today.